What's up, everybody? I'm Morgan Crosbie. Welcome to Cars and Crosby, and I have an amazing episode on my hands here for you guys today, especially if you have a Corvette on order or you're considering getting one, as I have some exciting announcements to finally make about the 2021 model year. I also have a entry-level Corvette that just arrived. We're going to be going through the features on it. There's only one feature that has been added on, and I'm going to go through that feature and also the values that are involved with an entry-level Corvette compared to other vehicles in the market. A couple minutes ago, I had my first short wheelbase Escalade arrive. This is obviously a new generation with a lot of exciting features to talk about. We're going to do some brief talking about this in a walk around, but the main component of today's episode is going to be on the ordering process and also some exciting announcements related to the 2021 model year. I finally have some exciting news to pass along, and this applies for anyone in the United States and also in Canada. So stay tuned, guys. We got a great episode on our hands today. All right, so let's get right into it and talk about this Corvette that just arrived. We're finally in the mid 14,000 VINs. This is in torch red with a base level set of rims. It's a 1LT and it has the adrenaline red interior. In the last episode when we were talking about interiors, I mentioned that the red stitching was only available on the base model in adrenaline red or in a 3LT when you get it as an option. So this is awesome because it does give you an excellent amount of styling cues. It's not like they just leave you hanging if you don't get the fully loaded option. And if you get the adrenaline red seats, it's without a doubt a very beautiful seat to go with the vehicle. These are the GT1 seats, and keep in mind, guys, if you do have a larger waist, this is the option that you want to go with in terms of comfort. If you're looking at having some creature comfort items added into the vehicle, then get a 2LT and do not add the additional option GT2 seat. So if you do want to get a better ride, the bolsters are going to make it so that this vehicle has the better option for you. Also, if you have your Corvette, don't ever take it through an automated car wash. This thing is always left in the vehicles to remind you that. I hope that that isn't something that you guys do, but for the example of why they have hot coffee warnings on your cup of coffee, that thing is on there just so that you do not take your Corvette through a automated drive-through car wash. It's the non-Z51. We can tell that very easily because of the spoiler or lack of, and then also because the brake calipers are smaller and the brakes do not have on the calipers the Z51. Again, just to show you one other angle of the driver's seat on the adrenaline red GT1 seats, these are a very comfortable seat option, and if you are looking at getting the red stitching, this is the only way that you can do it if you're not going to get a 3LT and add it as a separate option. So the one option that I've had on this vehicle is the NPP option, which is a performance exhaust. The reason why I say this is an absolute must has a lot to do with the fact that you can adjust this exhaust if you wanted to do so, and you're not limited to just having a louder exhaust when you get this option. There's always going to be a scenario where you're going to want to have a louder exhaust, especially with this being a Corvette. But if you don't want to have it permanently on there, do not fear. This is something that you can easily adjust. The base price of this vehicle is $67,898, and then you have your transport and also your battery protection and exhaust on here. This brings the grand total to $71,488, which makes this an unbelievable price point. Think about that. I was in a BMW dealership trading in a trade-in that we got in a couple of days ago, and they had an M2 in there, and it was over $80,000. That is an unbelievable value when you think about it. This is $71,000 Canadian, or around $61,000 American. And what you get for that money is absolutely incredible. I've gone into it on other episodes. I also know that there's a ton of episodes out there showing that kind of value. But every time I get one of these in, I just think about what other options are on the market for that kind of money. And I'm blown away that we do not have more people breaking down the doors from other competitors. One option that I'm thinking of right now in particular is the new Nissan sports car, the 400Z. I feel that with that kind of price point, this type of vehicle will blow it out of the water given the nature that they're almost the exact same price. So let's talk quickly about the Escalade, and then we'll get on to the best part of the day, which is the 2021 allotment. This is our first short wheelbase. It's in crystal white. It's actually going to be almost a twin to the long wheelbase version that we had here before. It has the rear entertainment package on here. We have Brandy for the leather on here. This is a sport, and it has the Onyx design package, and it also has on it the advanced driving assist package on it as well. Keeping in mind that this is going to be changed tomorrow, so that won't look the same once we get the Onyx design package on here. And then we also have the black accents going on the vehicle as well. It's a really easy way to make sure that the vehicle has one consistent design language throughout the entire process. And without a doubt, in my opinion, it gives it a very cool styling cue. It just makes it pop. It's all from the factory. You don't have to worry about getting an aftermarket set. If you're from the Corvette world, you know how hard it is to get aftermarket items on a brand new vehicle. So if you're interested in getting thing that is done out of the box, all ready to go, this is without a doubt an option, and we'll be talking about it once it gets all its equipment and stuff on it in the next episode. So let's talk about finally the 2021 allotment. This is something that everyone has been asking me about. They have a lot of different things that they've been telling us. We kind of are treated like mushrooms where we're left in the dark and expected to grow. I finally have some information that I'm going to pass along to you guys. So for the 2021 model year, we just got our first consensus, and that's the first lesson of the day for you guys. When you are at a dealership, we get our allotment awarded to us in something called a consensus. And this happens on the first week and the third week of every month. And what it is basically giving you an expectation of what you're going to get at your dealership for the next production cycle. So if you're getting a consensus, it's basically going to tell you what kind of orders you can expect to receive over the next 4 to 6 weeks, give or take, whenever that production cycle starts. So for this example, we were just awarded 2 C8 Corvettes for the first production cycle of the new 2021 model year. That means to me that they're most likely going to be starting production right away in December or early January, which goes in line with everything else that I've been receiving in terms of information. This is something that will also coincide with my statistics on how long it takes to normally apply an order in a previous generation. Normally when we get a consensus, there's usually about a 4 to 6 week period before the order is submitted and accepted. And that makes sense if you think about it, right now being the beginning of November, that we're already starting to get our consensus for the next 21 model year. Now, this is a little bit different than normal processes. Normally what will happen is we'll get awarded our allotment for the year, and then we will get our consensus telling how many we get. It's a little bit backwards, but in my opinion, I'm very happy with that because that's normally the next stage of the process, and they're already telling me it right now. That tells me a lot of things about what's going on. It means that they're already thinking and they're conscious about the next production model year and making it have a transition that's flawless. As if you were thinking about it, that's not an afterthought. They're already planning ahead. They're trying to get people's orders in, submitted, and that's a really great thing to be seeing from the factory. That gives me a lot of confidence that they're on track and keeping things going. Now, a couple of speculations that I'm going to make on my personal level is that this winter break is going to do a great job for 2 major factors. One, they'll be able to retool the factory when they're doing the shutdown over the winter break, which is usually the 3rd week of December. And the other thing that it will do is it will potentially give suppliers a little bit of another head start on the 2021 model year. If you remember a couple weeks back, they did a shutdown at the plant, and when they did that, they were doing that to be able to increase the amount of supply that they had on specific components. I'm not asking for anyone that is a supplier for General Motors to be working over the holiday breaks, but it would make sense, in my opinion, that they use that break to their advantage and building up a little bit of a surplus for when they start the production of the 21 model year. So that, again, is my personal guess. If you guys have any guesses you want to help me out with in speculating, I'm all ears to hear about them. But the great news that I want to pass along is they are already giving us 2021 allotment in the consensus, and that is going to mean that there is a very likely chance that we're going to be getting pricing and also our allotment announced for our entire first 6 months of production at the manufacturing facility. So really great things to pass along. I'm very excited to see that in the notes. And if you are a client of mine, you'll know that after you're at the 10th in line, that's when we start taking your orders. So we will be starting to take our orders and building them for the 21 consensus and then submitting it. Now, one final thing that I want to talk about is your time zone change on your Corvette. One of the things that I've been seeing on the Facebook pages and a couple of other forums is that there are some people that are wondering why their Corvette did not change over for when the time zone happened. So I'm just going to show you on my Corvette what you got to do that. I'm going to fire her up. You'll see I'm at 12,000 kilometers. I'm just ready to go for my first oil change session. And we also have the oil change light on. We're going to go over into the main interface over here. Going to go into settings. And then time and date. And then here it says automatic time and date. You're going to either have your phone paired up to the Bluetooth, or you're going to be able to use the network inside of the Corvette to be able to allow to have the time zone change happen all on its own. So if your time zone hasn't changed, it's because those settings have not been clicked. I hope you guys enjoyed this amazing news. I know that this is going to bring about a lot of questions for people. They're going to be, asking your local dealer. Keep in mind that this is just showing us that they are already taking into consideration what is going to be happening for the 21 model year. We don't have any specific dates. We do not have our allotments yet for 2021, and we don't know what the pricing is going to be, but that really, to me, is a large indicator that there's going to be a lot of exciting things coming through the pipes very shortly. So stay tuned, as I will be making announcements on those as soon as I get them. I want to be your on-scene live Corvette reporter, passing on as much information as I can, and as of right now, this is as much as I can give you. So stay tuned and happy motoring.